Good morning. Good morning. Hope everybody's doing well. Um, NVIDIA made earnings yesterday, and the market seems to be green today. We did have some economic stuff this morning. The initial jobless claims came in higher than expected, which is typically a good thing. However, the market doesn't seem to be sustaining the reaction just in what I've seen. Some of the stuff is starting to come down pretty nicely that was up. Leslie and I kind of had a conversation this morning regarding just where the opportunities lie. And it seems that there are quite a few more opportunities in some of the smaller caps or the feeder companies, rather than like your Mag 7 types, your large and mega caps. So we're going to be exploring some of that today. That's what the market kind of carve out some lower lows. I wouldn't quite call us in bear territory just yet, but we're close. It seems to be a battle right now, a battleground in the stock market in terms of price and price action. And that's just kind of where just what my morning perspective on the market is. Some things are running nicely. I would have preferred to see things up quite a bit more than they presently are. Hopefully nobody held NVIDIA through earnings because the IV was really, really high and it didn't have the move that I think people were expecting. I do still think that we could see that 150 range again. I just don't know when. When on NVIDIA, Snow had earnings, and it's up $20. So they beat the brakes off of that. Snow has the potential to keep going. I like that stock quite a bit. And that's what I've got for you this morning.
I think, good morning, everyone. I think that I looked at NVIDIA and I see the potential for 140 today, but not much more than that. I'm not surprised at all by its response to earnings. We've seen this long wick, and I'll share my charts. We've seen this long wick in both directions about 10 times over this tech earnings period. And so I'm not surprised by it. And then it kind of trades flat. So I am kind of hopeful that we will reach my 140 fib level today, but I don't expect much more than that, barring some exceptional news. And I'm not seeing it right now. Everything, what it's also saying is what I said is that AI link shares are rising. And my theory on that is that and I'm seeing it as well, confirmation of it in my research that even the institutional investors are wisely so taking more of an interest in the companies in the supply chains of the Mag 7 than they are the Mag 7 themselves. And so they have been selling shares of Mag 7 stocks and picking up some of the smaller stocks that are in my index. Innovative stocks, again, stocks that are in the supply chains, much lower price, smaller market cap companies, I think with the expectation for more growth, which is the same thing that I've been doing. But as far as high time frame setup on NVIDIA, it has the same setup that I've been going through this watch list looking for on other stocks. And so I would say I have about, I don't know, a list of 15 maybe stocks that have this same setup. And what it is just the price finding support at the 200 SMA, which is one of, if not the strongest support and resistance on my chart setup. So that's a good setup. I do think it gets stopped at 140. It looks, and I may have said this yesterday, It looks to me a lot like the Bitcoin chart, where we consolidated in the higher zone and then we broke down. And then we actually, with Bitcoin, ended up breaking down to the next zone. So for NVIDIA, that is 108 to 125. And I did see some interesting commentary, I think, on Twitter last night, or it might have been Facebook, about NVIDIA trading into these lower levels, sub 100. So we shall see at the open.
I think it could
I
happen.
do too. I think that
I don't think it'll happen today, but it absolutely
the
could
only
happen.
thing that is consistent in the market is that they try to do what the retail investor or trader does not expect them to do. Um, and I don't know why anybody would have traded in Nvidia earnings, because so I don't know. I don't know why anybody would have traded those earnings, but I like Oklo. Oklo is a nuclear involved stock that we were in through this run up, and discussed a lot during here. And now we've had a significant retrace, and it looks like puts us right about where I wanted to be. Yeah, at some of those deeper fib levels. And so that is one that's on my radar for this morning. What else? Tim, you see the same setup over and over again. Same thing. Had a nice run up. This was
Mhm.
investor interest, some large fund trading. And then, just like everything else in the market last week, it responded to, I believe, tariff news. Oh, but one that did have really significant news this morning is Amazon. And so I exited. This was a very nice put on Amazon, but I exited the puts, and I was not anticipating this, but they have rolled out a quantum computing chip. And so I think that is cause for significant upside on Amazon, definitely up to the lower time period moving averages up here to 21 and the 50 at about 230-ish, 227, 229 is what it actually says. So I think that's a good opportunity, but let's see how the setup might develop on lower time frames. We actually right at support. Resistance is right up there at 225. So I think this is a good trade for the open, but you have to watch for that fake out. Those present some good opportunities, but you can see in the watch list just how much of this little stuff that a lot of people have probably never heard of is up.
Oh, I just saw Mara in
Well, they
there.
reported earnings,
It's
because I was
probably
like,
crafted
what? Why are they up? But they reported earnings, I believe, yesterday.
Oh,
Because
nice.
Bitcoin is doing what? Let's
Yeah, it's not.
hmm
uh, Bitcoin is just Bitcoining at this point. I am starting to share your sentiment that we could go lower before we go higher. It was holding up there and it failed to, I was holding up there and it failed to just break out in any meaningful way. And so here we are back down again.
hmm and sitting right at
So,
resistance again. So, well, this might do a little something, or so we bounced off the 200, kind of convincingly, but again, we are um, having trouble with this next fib level. But we are oversold and turning bullish on the stochastic. So I'll watch it. I don't care. I think that it has some effect. I don't trade Bitcoin, but I do think it has some impact on the market as a whole. So I just like to check it.
absolutely.
Look at me.
You want to talk? You finally got your moon launch or the announcement of your moon launch. I know you have been definitely on that one. I don't really follow Lunar. I know you do.
Mm-hmm. So
Um,
I'm not going to say a whole lot about that. People
Okay.
need to go do their research, but um, it is one of those. So you can remember the first Trump presidency, he was talking about the Space Force.
Mm-hmm.
And it is definitely interesting to me that NASA claims, I mean, went to the moon in the 70s, I think it was. I don't know when it was, but whenever they went to the moon. And then they have not been able to get back since. They said that they didn't have the technology. And so now companies have emerged that apparently do have the technology and are making frequent trips to the moon. And so I just expect overall that that will be one of the industries that takes off over the next 3, 5, 10, 20 years. And so that is really the basis for my interest in that. The other thing, though, that I do find strikingly interesting is NASA has not had the technology to get to the moon in 20 years, but these companies are launching their trips to the moon from NASA's launch pads. So you don't. It's just anyway. I'm gonna leave that alone. So
You gonna leave it
yeah,
alone?
I'm gonna leave that. I'm gonna let them have that one. So that's some stuff. I'm just scrolling into some of the, just looking at some of the trades that I took yesterday. I took a lab yesterday, somewhere in here, who knows. So that's looking good. But I expected that the money would rotate into smaller versions of the Mag 7 into energy. And let's see, I'm in Data Bridge. Just trying to climb back. What are you, or what have you traded this week so far besides you took a SPY put, right?
SPX, those did really well. I did really well on SPX puts. I did really well on Palantir puts. I ended up being able to close my UNH puts at even. They just don't seem to want to let it die. What else? I actually scalped Palantir to the upside yesterday before everything started falling.
Oh yeah, said
And
in the
I
morning
am,
about the Palantir calls.
mhm.
Mm-hmm.
So that has been what I have traded this week. I am in some Meta 700s for 321. I bought those yesterday, the day before, when we were retracing. Um, Meta had some news yesterday. Um, so yeah, that's I've been taking it slow very purposely this week just because the market doesn't seem to be holding and just that kind of don't trust it. I know you and I discussed like if we look at what's happening over the days that we're starting to see lower lows on some stuff and some double and triple bottoms on some things. Um, and so right now, for me, some of the stuff like is with SPX specifically, and the things that are very heavily weighted there, this breaching this 5950 level, it did it 1 2 3 times this week, maybe four. At some point it keeps getting caught and bought up, but at some point it breaks. We saw as low as 5909 on SPX this week. There's a lot of room to fall. So very similar to a couple of weeks ago when I was letting it get to the like 6110, 6120 level and then shorting it. Um, it's carved out a new level for me here, right about, I'd say like 6020, where I'm liking to shorten. It's been having trouble getting back above 6,000 this week. So we shall see. We shall see. We shall see. We got
Okay.
easy pass. So I'm I'm trading a little bit less, but I am also being mindful to take my profits because I don't trust what the market may do. Um, um, but the goal here is to win more than you lose. You can never lose by taking your profit ever. And so I know sometimes we get this, this FOMO mentality. Um, this FOMO mentality, and it will put you into trades that you otherwise wouldn't have taken, or you will basically be in profit, feel like there's more profit to be had, and then turn around and break even or even with a small loss or sometimes a large loss by not taking your profit. So that I had to have a conversation with someone the other day about revenge trading. Like, oh, this stock owes me some money. Well, guess what? If you keep chasing it under the wrong conditions, it's going to take even more. So I'm just waiting for these A plus setups. Um, Cash has been a big position for me this week.
Okay. I think that what I have been doing is focusing more on, yes, being patient, waiting for setups, but just focusing more on building the bag of leaps and shares for right now. Like right now, I'm looking at a January 20, I think this chart is up, but a January 26 $15 leap on Rigetti. And let me get back over there. You can see that it's been this year as high as $21. What is that? $21.42. So looking at and it's relatively cheap, $15 leap on that for January. So just trying to be strategic, set up some plays that require some patience, and then at the same time find those quick plays that will give you some daily or some weekly profits that you can take. So that's my strategy overall. Really is to balance my portfolio with leaps and also leave some funds there for day and shorter swing trading. Looking at the things like these setups to me are absolutely beautiful, ideal. You got a double bottom off your 200 on the daily chart, and then it did exactly what it should do from there. ANET is another one that I liked.
Yeah, we caught a nice run on ANET, so it's probably time to start playing that one back again. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Very nice setup on that. I'm gonna see what Twilio is
Energy
doing.
stocks are running again too, so you guys can use a screener to find what those are. But energy is one of them that is a little high on the chart for me. Um, NNE looks decent. And these are monthly charts I'm looking at. SMR definitely is at a decent level. I think that should be about the 50.
Do you have a
61.
specific screener that you prefer over another?
I don't I don't use screeners, but I'm saying if people want to know what like what their options are as far as energy stocks, they could use screeners. A lot of people use Finviz. You can use this screener. What's this called? Trading View screener. But people that use screeners have a favorite. I don't use them for whatever reason. Yeah, I like this setup on SMR. It did not come down to the 200, but that is close enough for me. And an easy target would be um, that 2182 level. But you'll see this same setup here. Uh, I don't know, 20 times if I go through all of these charts with this doji at or near the 200 moving average, and then the price starts to appreciate. So just some pointers. Hmm, interesting with snow. But this is another setup that I've seen a lot near the 50-21.
Yeah, Snow did it. Their options were just ridiculous though.
Yeah, I don't know how. Who reports today? Let me look at that.
Um, let's see. Who reports today? I left my glasses all the way downstairs. Today is Thursday. Dell reports after close. Sound SOUN close reports today.
Oh, thank
We
you for
talked
telling me that
about
because I entered sound calls yesterday, so I may want to think about exiting those. But they have like retraced. See, they retraced significantly, and so I may actually hold those through earnings.
open was well, we're not trading anything on open door here. Well, maybe. Let's see. Yeah, I don't. The stock is trading $1.54. It's just like,
Open is $1.54.
yeah.
Uh, that's that neighborhood watch app or something, isn't it?
Open door technology. So let's say
Or
you're
is
looking
that
for a house, like sometimes they put them on open and you can basically allow self showings.
okay?
But open door also used to, I think they've completely suspended that program, but they would buy your house without an agent and then they would, resell it for profit. That turned out to be a horrible idea for them. Um, yeah. Oh, by the way, Fubo actually reports tomorrow morning pre-earnings, but it doesn't appear to me that open is something that I want to trade. Not at $1.54. Um,
Yeah, no. Um, at a certain point, I'm like, how low can it, you know, dangerously
um,
low at
if
this point?
Fubo is $3.69, I don't think I want to fool with it either. But what happened here? Did they have some reverse splits or something?
I remember we used to trade Fubo years ago.
Right. It went from there's I don't know what that wick is. Look like this is insane. And all the scrolling I got to do to try and get a. Let's see. Let's look at this on a. Whoa. I'm not even. Seems what is this level here? It was at least $55 back way back when. I don't know if there was a squeeze on it, but from 360 back to 55. Not to say it can't happen, but no.
Crowd was another one I was looking at, and I can't remember if this it was the spreads or what, but
Crowd strike. I like
mm,
crowd.
I like it too, and it has a $17.48 ATR. So I think that was the issue is I don't like to trade shorter contracts, and so I couldn't find a contract that was ideal for me. But 429 is on the menu, so
Absolutely, and it is. I mean, it's up $9 in pre-market, so not bad. Um, it looks like a nice setup. I feel like let's see when their earnings are. I don't think
there's
they
a
have.
lot of opportunity here, but I think that is all dependent upon what Nvidia does today. And Nvidia has been having significant issues with this 140 level. So that
Significant. Hmm.
makes me kind of cautious. I'm hoping that off of the 200 and beating earnings, they can break right through that level this time. and potentially
Maybe
hit the 159 up there, but I don't know. I don't know.
it just, I don't know. The market just feels a little weird to me. Like it feels very weak. Um, and again, so I try not to have a personal bias in terms of that. I just want to make some money quickly.
Mm,
Really, if bar
I don't think.
chart space screener.
That Bart. Who asked that? Rochelle. Hold on, let me get over there. You said Rochelle asked if bar chart had a screener. Can you not hear me?
There you go. You cut out for a second.
You said Rochelle asked if bar chart had a screener. Maybe I'm cutting out, but yes, they have tons of different kinds of screeners. Bar chart is one of my favorite resources because they just have so much stuff that you can't even use it all. But it's time to get signed into our trading accounts. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
get ready.
What
Where? Ooh.
request? I mean, it's yes. Her connection is cut out. I think we're and so we're just going to be looking for some premium setups here. Um, okay. When Leslie comes back, I'll let one. Um, so yeah, the market's getting ready to open. I would encourage everyone to manage their risk. I do think that we see very soon, we see some sort of really good, some really good directional moves. And so keeping that cash on the sideline for when those moves occur is going to be important. So I'm getting ready to start opening my trading accounts, and that is where I'm going to be. Um, yep, yep. Oh, you know what? I feel like oh 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 before I forget. So 5% tax on Canada. Um, but also I know that we were able into place until April, but it is my understanding that they go into effect March 4th, I want to say, rather than April 4th. So that could also potentially affect the way the market trades. I don't know if we morning everyone. All right. Be exercise some patience, wait for your setups, cash is a position, and in about 30 seconds, we are a go on the market. Um, One thing that I will be watching is to see how um, well, I don't know if the other. I don't know. So, oh, it's my internet. Is that better? Okay. So I'm going to, if you can hear me, I'm just going to mute myself while I try and figure out what is going on with my internet. All right, I am back after having restarted my computer, so hopefully you all can hear me.
So if one of us is not getting booted, the other is getting booted.
I know, and my internet is usually pretty strong. Are you able to hear me, Leslie?
Yes, I hear you.
Okay, that was weird.
Yeah, having to reset or restart your computer at the open is sucks a lot.
Not ideal.
Um,
No, definitely not ideal. All right.
hmm, cooler. Palantir is running. Let me see what
Yep.
Oklo tanked at the open, but that is not surprising. Let's see,
Yeah.
say
ANET is going down. Interestingly, though, I'm just looking, printing. The indices seem kind of strong, much stronger than they did yesterday. There was a nice pop on Meta that seems to, whoa, is this with the 688? I don't think that's okay. Might have been while my computer was restarting.
what's that? Hmm. Maybe it's the weather, but something is going on with Natasha's internet this morning. And so I am kind of watching today's Tesla day. So I'm watching Amazon to see what kind of move it's going to make on this quantum computing news. But also seeing what Tesla is doing. I know what I expect it to do. Just based on the fact that it's Thursday and the setup that I'm looking at, or the chart formation, I should call it, that I'm looking at here. So just watching it to see once that tricky period is over, that they always do a lot of back and forth at the open. So just kind of patiently waiting through that. Let's go back through some of the puts that we've taken. And over the last couple weeks, see, everything has basically retraced right back to the 200, and you can kind of see here what happens when we get to that 200. 200 and oversold produces moves like that, and that's exactly where we are now. So right now, at least things are looking bullish.
Yeah, I kind of like to let this first couple minutes play out, see what we're doing. To be giving back a considerable amount of its morning gains. Um, ANET is struggling.
If it's any consolation to you, oh my goodness. Most things are, though. Most of the things that were up in pre-market are printing big red candles. So Lensar.
And I was like, do you trust the up move? Like,
I do. I'm basing my
yeah,
expectations on higher time frame charts. So I kind of think that
and a couple
like I
things.
was up nice.
So,
Yeah, I didn't expect it. Did it hit 140? No. Wow.
mm-mm.
No shock here. I thought that it would hit 140 first. I think that it will hit it at some point today.
Taking Maybe it got as high as 135.50. Um, Coming
Yep,
back
everything
down.
is JTAI.
Mm, yeah, it's these first 15. Mm. But if you look at what's happened, we started yesterday almost identically.
Can you hear me, Natasha?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. It
Okay.
looks like everything
Now,
is just mirroring. Everything is mirroring NVIDIA right now. Um,
mm-hmm.
More than anything, I'm just watching what happens at um what happens at these moving averages. Oh wow. Did the I'm not gonna say that. That's negative. Um I'm not allowing myself to become alarmed by anything. Number one, because it's the first 15 minutes. And number two, I think that we've retraced so deeply. Um that
So
this
I'm
is
not
just a fake.
sure if when we were discussing the fact that the tariffs actually go into place the 4th of March rather than the 4th of April. I'm not sure if you heard that.
There's gotta be some news. 4th of March. Oh, so when did you see that?
Yesterday,
This
last
morning?
night. Mm-mm.
Okay.
Last
That
night.
might be what's happening then. Because I was about to say there's gotta be some news that I haven't seen.
Yep.
Because there seems to be another sell-off.
Mm-hmm.
Opening yet another bag of Hershey's Kisses. Um, yeah, market is selling off.
Yeah. For
What
what
in the
seems like
world?
no real good reason.
I mean that headline you just mentioned could do it.
Yeah, looks like we are gonna try and run negative.
Not.
I'm trying to give it a little bit as we seem to be. I'm wondering if they're what is it, the 52 fake out, like the same way that they have been running this play. So like we come down and we bounce a little bit and we stay up here for a little bit and then but yeah.
This is a nice setup on a low time frame. On hymns, this just brings to mind that so the combination of that headline you just talked about and these tariffs and what I'm seeing on these charts is like reminding me of what I said the other day about how the first term presidents are more concerned about metrics like the stock market and the Dow is this and all of that. Whereas the second
Mm-hmm.
term, they kind of get scapegoated um, for whatever whoever their boss's agendas are. Well, maybe we'll have a crappy stock market the next 4 years.
I don't know if it necessarily for the next 4 years, but I definitely think that yeah, I definitely think that this near term, like I said, and that this 5960 has to break for more downward movement, and I think that it becomes very wide sweeping if that is what happens. I don't think that it's a yeah, I think it's very wide sweeping. I think they will just basically sell everything.
It's 8:46 now, or 9:46 now is where I get to see if that was those red candles were just setting me up for my entries, or if it's really going to be a red day.
Quite possibly could be.
Hmm.
Quite possibly.
Huh. Another thing I'm seeing is them lowering the prices of EVs, which I guess is good for adoption. But I don't think it's good for share prices in the short run. I'm honestly expecting that we'll hit 311 today on Tesla, just because Thursdays tend to be kind of a reversal day. And then whatever we do today, lots of times will continue through Monday. So that's why I like Thursdays for trading Tesla, because you can get a nice sustained movement without having to pay a ton for a contract.
Mm-hmm.
I bought some, not Sezzle, some Ziz TF shares yesterday at 170. Okay. I hate looking at this chart for obvious reasons, but might be something that you guys want to research. Still cheap, and I think that it has huge growth potential based on the industry that it's in. I also think that you might want to research the aerospace um, supply chains to see what space and drone related stocks make sense for investing purposes. They're still relatively cheap based on the technology, I think. So companies like Sadu, for example, $2.25. But Sadu Space is involved, obviously, in space exploration. And so you'll have to determine, based on what's available, who the winners will be. But I definitely think it's a technology worth paying attention to.
Mm.
What happened? I
I hate
think
this like
Trump might have
waiting
said
game, so to
something.
speak. It's like,
Say it again.
I said I hate this waiting game. Just kind of like, it feels very dumpy to me. Very, 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 very dumpy.
Maybe I'm too optimistic. Let's see what.
I just feel like they've been, we've talked about this concept pretty regularly, where they will basically trap retail, right? Doing what
Hmm.
you think.
Well, I definitely don't think that they're trapped to the upside right now.
Um, I think people were optimistic that the Nvidia earnings were probably going to change the market direction. Oh, look at that. Carvana finally want to be red. Huh.
I would love to be able to do a poll. Um, I would have to go a bit stronger than optimistic and say like who was actually long on Nvidia yesterday. I could look at bar chart, but I wasn't
Oh, I wasn't
like
long on it. I felt like it offered some potential, but there was no, well, you already know how I feel about holding through earnings and such. So,
I wasn't touching it because I know that whether they made earnings or not, there was a potential for it to drop 20% off off positive earnings, off an earnings beat. So, you know,
oof.
I hope people are factoring that in. And also the fact that earnings is just some arbitrary group somewhere guessed at what your earnings would be. It's like it reminds me of the guess your weight game at the county fair, right? They, they guessed what your earnings would be. And if you were wrong, if your earnings didn't make their guess, then you're in trouble. It's insane. I think it's stupid, personally. But sometimes you can make a ton of money. Um, but there's just so many factors that influence what a stock is going to do after earnings. Too many, in fact.
Mhm. Well, SPY is negative. Nvidia's down 2%. Palantir is negative.
Scary times. I was
Hmm.
thinking about the fear and greed index this morning. Um,
I haven't seen that one in a minute.
right.
Carvana is finally freaking down. Not much, but I don't know why Carvana was ever up. It's like, just makes no sense to me. It, it seems like they just want to. Mm. Um.
Tweezer tops on lemonade. But we sitting at support. So we will see. I would think that, let me see.
Are you eating chocolate for breakfast again, ma'am?
I am. I am. So easy. I
You
would
gotta
think
do that.
that, I agree. We would be able to catch a good trade on SPX or QQQ this morning because, well, I should say today because
Yeah, I entered some 0 day 5940s, so I won't be holding those very long. They're up 57% as of right this second.
those are the things that are nice for us to know.
Oh,
Mm, what's the low?
What is
Mm,
Bitcoin doing? Ready to go negative. Okay.
I want to know what this is about.
And I only bought one because it was a rather expensive contract for ODTE.
Did they? Oh yeah, they reported. See, this company, tiny, unheard of company, $11. This is this supports a few points. Missed earnings and is up 16%. So that just goes to show you how unpredictable earnings can be and how there's really no rhyme or reason for it. But my explanation for that would be that despite the earnings miss, people are pouring money into these smaller companies because the expectation for growth is much greater there than it is with, say, an Nvidia or Meta or an Amazon. Mm, like
Yo,
Lightbridge. Who's heard of Lightbridge?
I have.
Marathon is coming. Ooh, well, everybody in the chat has heard of Lightbridge, but Marathon is doing what it should be doing now. Let's see.
We definitely breached. No, we haven't. Hmm.
Yeah, it's looking more and more like a red day.
Just ever so slightly.
See. Now, Amazon had tremendous news. And down goes Amazon. Let's see what. That I think is very telling. That Amazon quantum computing chip news is probably the most significant news to come out of tech all month. And it is still down just 1%, basically. But it's still down. It should be, let's see where it is on the higher time frame. Okay. Hmm. Now, off of these 2150s, these are, so this is on the daily. Look at the 4 hour. On the 4 hour, these are resistance. And so you could either get to this fib level, which is a decent amount of range for a day trade, or you could create a lower low. Um, so there's some possibility there. And we're two candles in, two 15-minute candles into the market. So if we don't get a change or a turnaround here,
It is look out below.
well, you were
Look
talking
out
about
below.
November lows.
I mean, I don't think that we were far off. Like, and this is some sustained selling.
So how I balance that is, let's look at SPX.
Yeah, look at it.
Oh yeah, I mean, this is what is interesting to me though. We Liquidity sweep, gap down. Liquidity sweep, gap down.
I think it's
And
the
but it
lower
does
lows
stay
for
up.
me.
Yeah, yeah. You got one here. This is definitely one. So closing the gap will put you at 58.70 ish.
Uh-huh. Yes, ma'am.
That's not bad though. That is a good opportunity. Let's see what Tesla's doing.
Crap in the bed. That would be what Tesla is doing.
267. Tesla never needed to be up this high anyway. Honestly.
No, but inevitably it will return to those levels at some point. Now, do we
Hmm.
bounce though? At least on SPX, I know we hit that 59.09, or we call it 59.10, and then it bounced. So we want to see what it does here. Um,
We are down $18 this morning, 298, 281. Almost $18 this morning. Yeah.
it seemed to be trying to have a tiny little bounce here.
Who
We're gonna see.
SPX?
Yeah, trying. We'll see how. Trying. Trying. That's all I got for you is trying. Um,
Looking for potential reversals. It's 10 o'clock, so that
10
has
o'clock here.
definitely
Super quick.
um who is this? Pleasantville Middle School. Somebody's calling Kathleen. So
Okay,
they've
yeah, I
done
love
their
cat.
shakeout pretty much everywhere. See what this next 15-minute holds. Next 15 minutes holds, yes. And then I'm
That's
probably, we only got 27 minutes anyway. I need to pack. I still haven't packed. Jet
crazy.
AI. Huh. Jet AI. I like Jet AI from here for a day trade.
Hmm. I think if Nvidia keeps falling, I mean, and Nvidia is trying, looks like.
Everything is at least looking like it might turn around here, but kind of hard to. Well, it is at a fib level. It turned around on a dime at the 0.236. Um, so maybe back to 130, but I don't know. Starting to feel about Nvidia like I do about Tesla. Stock buybacks.
Mm, interesting. Coin just popped a tiny bit positive, like some cents, but Bitcoin is still going down. So, kind of curious about that.
I think all of those are a trade. I don't know where if Bitcoin is near support or not, but um hell, if you had to just stayed in the coin, you doing all right. Yeah, no, this is looking, let's see.
It's looking like a reversal.
It bounced off the 200. And
Not
then,
convinced.
so I think this is our new range for the moment. 81 to
Mm-hmm.
87. Call it 82 to 87. So looking for an entry somewhere. I should start looking at. I'm gonna start paying more attention to the indexes because yeah, I think I'm gonna focus on Amazon. I think that this move, this down candle, it's just in response to the broader market, but overall, if we look at Amazon, it has retraced significantly off. Is that an all-time high? Off all-time highs. Um, and that is due to trade back up into that 200. And based on the ATR of about $5, do that fairly quickly. Could do it today. I just don't understand why it's not responding to this quantum computing news.
I mean, if you have nervous investors who are selling everything, then even the winners, then it becomes really difficult, I think.
Okay, so I'm gonna look at some institutional order flow when we get off here. Um, yeah, I got about an hour and a half to play around and pack before I need to get out of here. But yeah, this is one day where I'm like, not seeing it. I'm getting some dojis on 15-minute candles on another screen.
I will be waiting the obligatory 10:30 to see what I do. My coffee is cold.
Mine too. Just trying to be patient. I'm not trying to rush
Patience is
into.
where it's at.
This is where those leaps though come in handy because I'm not getting killed.
Yeah, if you had short-term options, you were probably hosed.
Huh?
I said if a person was trading
I
short-term
heard
options like
I
myself,
ain't been
like
hoes.
I sold my Meta on the pop this morning when I saw that it wasn't holding. So I got a little bit of profit. I'll reposition on that at some point. It probably won't be today, but I will do that.
Yeah, I'm seeing some pretty convincing turnaround on the lower time frames. But these conditions do make it difficult to make money, and that's the market maker's job. Mm. SMCI. All right.
I'm surprised it's not doing a bit better than it is.
If you're in the mentorship, though, you see what I'm looking at, and you see the potential here. Let me look at. Yeah, I do see some potential with SMCI. Let's see what Tesla's doing. Stalking Tesla. Um, uh-huh. Pretty convinced that this is my trade. Let me go look at contracts and see if others share my sentiment. Hmm. Hmm. So much open interest at $100 on SMCIs is crazy. Insanity. 170s. Yeah, I'm not.
Well, I think they have earnings next week, if I'm not
I
mistaken.
thought they just had it. No, they had it 2 days ago.
March 11th.
Well, why does
Remember, 2 days ago was that the 10K that was
I look at my
due.
screen?
That's
Look
what yesterday.
look at my screen.
No, it does say that. I don't know. I see March 11th.
Hmm. You know it's a slow day when I get signed out of my accounts. Let's nope, don't want to do it there. Go here. Yeah, this is the bounce. So, making sure I don't have any open already. And gonna look at some April or later SMCI calls. Spreads are unacceptable.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's not bad. June spreads are not bad at all. Let's see. Yeah, June spreads are decent. And I got 49. So I'm going to take a June, what is this? June $50 call. Uh, at the last trade price. All right, so that's me for the day. I'm gonna be looking for an opportunity in Tesla, but I just entered those um, whatever I just said, $50. $50 June SMCI calls. And it looks like Tesla on track for lowest close since election day. Chickens coming home to roost. Um, but it looks like possibly a put off of the moving averages on Tesla, maybe.
Tesla
Amazon.
just needs to be a put. Shit. Shucks.
And Amazon. Let me look at high time frames. hmm Amazon looks good here too. I wouldn't get comfortable in anything. But it
Mm-mm.
does look like some money can be made on Amazon today off of that news. Now that the market is has finished its shake and bake or whatever the hell. Lemonade called Lemonade this morning in the chat. What else did I call in the chat? Oklo is coming back and Amazon. And so as long as you know how to
Palantir
catch
just
your
went
interest,
green.
yeah, I think everything. I think the worst is over. NVDA.
Yep, Apple just went green again. Only by a little bit, but
All right, where does that put us? SPX. So SPX to hmm.
1018.
I would have some interest in SPX if it once it does what it needs to do with these moving averages on the 5. And it
Well,
seems
I
to be
already
trying.
proved that. I took my little 120% and ran with it. It was a very quick trade. Very, very quick
Hmm.
trade. When I saw it, because we got to that bounce level. I think we kind of talked about that. Like, where might it bounce? Super quick. I may re-enter though. It just depends on where we stay, if we can steadily climb or what have you. I see Nvidia moving back downward again, which I don't think bodes really well. But yeah, we will see. So I may be looking, like I
That's
said, to catch another
something.
entry.
It's one of those things that I don't appreciate. Um, is so this kind of apparent uh that like sentiment is pegged to Nvidia is I don't know. I have my opinions about stuff, and that's one that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But again, I think that the money is going to be found in these lesser known stocks. And I'm not so interested in what Nvidia and the larger names are doing, and I can't wait until more people start to share that sentiment or that perspective.
All right, so 10 minutes before we shut things down, is there anything that anybody in the chat wants to see, talk about?
MU. barring any questions, we can get out of here. I feel like I want to take a nap, but obviously I don't have time for that. And I need to pack
You can if
and
it's a
take
short
care of some
nap.
things. Huh?
I said you can if it's a short nap.
I believe in 4 hour naps, girl. So, but if
I take a
nobody has any
4 hour nap. I might
questions,
not sleep the whole next night.
uh, Amazon. So I'm gonna be watching just as my, I guess, my wrap up and closing. I'm gonna be watching for an entry on Amazon in response to that positive two subpoenas tech giants over foreign communications. That's interesting. But on their quantum computing strides and this positive news on Alexa, I did see the Alexa article yesterday. I think that that is going to produce a sustained move, and so that's what I'm doing.
Well, now we're up 10, so I think you might have got what you were looking for.
What's that on Amazon?
No, just this bounce. It looks like we bounced real nice. So I may actually be looking for another entry. Um, Nvidia seems to be turning around.
Nvidia, where?
Trying to
Okay, so Amazon's at 214. I'm looking for a contract for Amazon. And can't go wrong with that the money. So I just bought March 21st Amazon 215s. And I'll watch those and keep you guys posted on my exit in the chat. And so that's what did I do? I did SMCI 50s and Amazon 215s.
mm-hmm.
So I will be watching those while I pack.
Okay.
And Natasha will let us know in the chat if she sees a good opportunity for us on one of the indices.
Pretty much. It looks like up we go. I don't see, yeah, I think we're still waiting, but we shall see. We shall see. We shall see.
Oh, so I think it's a great time to make an announcement and correct me if I'm wrong, but we will be back tomorrow as normal, but then everything through Tuesday. So any trainings, any webinars, anything that we would do or that I would do between now and we got to talk about if we're going to do this Monday and Tuesday with the live training going. But I think that everything is suspended until Wednesday when the training is over, I would think.
Well, yes. And you travel in the morning on Wednesday. And Wednesday is my birthday.
Oh, so yeah, everything is suspended till Thursday at least. All right, but so don't look for us Monday or Tuesday. We will be with our live training participants on that day. And then Wednesday is Natasha's birthday. So we'll let you know something on social media and on the Mighty Network about when we shall resume things. I'll definitely be doing my training Wednesday night though. All right, guys, have a good trading day. I will see you in the chat.
I will see you guys tomorrow.